She thought she had a whole week to cheat. A fake trip. A secret reunion. A perfect lie. What she didn't know. Her boyfriend was standing just a few feet away, watching everything. And instead of screaming, instead of confronting her, he smiled, took a photo, and started planning the most cold-blooded breakup you've ever heard. My buddy wasn't the jealous type. You know, the kind, calm, logical, the guy who doesn't jump to conclusions. The one who trusts, maybe a little too much. He'd been living with his girlfriend for a while. Same apartment. Same routines. Shared groceries, shared mornings, shared everything. From the outside, they looked solid. But inside that apartment, things were quietly falling apart. Conversations got shorter. Eye contact faded. The little, "How was your day?" turned into silence. You could feel it, that slow emotional drift. And then came the trip. She told him she needed to visit her family. Said it had been too long. Said she'd be gone for a week. Nothing suspicious on the surface. He even helped her pack. Kissed her goodbye. Watched her leave. But something didn't sit right. Not enough to accuse. Not enough to fight. Just a feeling. A couple days later, he was out grabbing food. Just a normal day. Until it wasn't. He walks past this restaurant patio, crowded, loud, full of people enjoying their evening. And then his body just freezes. Because sitting right there, laughing, smiling, leaning a little too close, was his girlfriend. And across from her? Her ex. Not a friend. Not a cousin. Not some random coworker. Her ex. The guy she told him not to worry about. The guy who was supposedly, completely out of her life. And yet, there they were. Sharing drinks. Sharing food. Sharing something way too familiar. You know that feeling. When your chest tightens. Your stomach drops. And your brain is trying to catch up with what your eyes are already screaming at you? Yeah, that. Most people would have stormed in. Caused a scene. Yelled. Fought. Demanded answers. But not him. He did something way scarier. He stayed quiet. Stepped back. Pulled out his phone. And started taking pictures. Click. Her laughing. Click. Him reaching across the table. Click. The way she looked at him. Like nothing else existed. Each photo felt like a punch to the gut. But he didn't stop. Because in that moment, he wasn't just hurt anymore. He was thinking. He walked away before they could see him. Got into his car. And just sat there. Hands gripping the steering wheel. Heart racing. Mind spinning. Was this the first time? Was the whole trip a lie? How long has this been going on? You don't just feel anger in moments like that. You feel stupid. Betrayed. Replaced. And for a second, yeah, he thought about confronting her. Calling her right then. Driving back. Blowing everything up. But then another thought crept in. Slow. Quiet. Dangerous. No. Not like this. Not messy. Not emotional. If she wanted to lie, he'd let her. If she thought she was in control, he'd let her believe that too. Because what he was about to do wasn't revenge fueled by rage. It was something colder. Something planned. Something final. He went home that night. Alone. The apartment felt different now. Like everything inside it had been contaminated. Every memory. Every laugh. Every shared moment. Fake. Or at least, tainted. But instead of breaking down, he got to work. See, here's the part she didn't think about. The lease was in his name. Month to month. And her. She wasn't on it. At all. That one detail changed everything. The next morning, he contacted the landlord. Explained the situation. Calmly, clearly. No drama. Just facts. And luckily, the landlord was a solid guy. Understood immediately. Didn't ask questions. Didn't interfere. just agreed to help. Then came step 2. He gave his 60-day notice. Started looking for a new place. Quietly, carefully, like nothing was wrong. And when she came back, he acted like everything was normal. That's what makes this story insane. He didn't confront her, didn't accuse her, didn't even hint at what he knew. She walked through the door, smiling, talking about her family trip. Fake stories, fake details, and he just nodded. Sounds nice. That's it. No emotion, no reaction, just calm. But inside, everything had changed. Over the next few weeks, it got worse. She started going out more, staying out late, sometimes not even coming home. And when she did, there was always an excuse. I crashed at a friend's place. It got too late to drive. I was tired. And every single time, he just said, okay. No questions, no arguments, no suspicion, just acceptance. And that made her comfortable. Too comfortable. Because while she was out there, living her double life, he was slowly, silently, erasing her from his. Behind the scenes, everything was falling into place. He found a new apartment, locked it in, started moving small things out quietly. Stuff she wouldn't notice. Important things. Personal things. Then came the coordination. The landlord agreed to stay quiet. Agreed to schedule apartment viewings. Only when she wasn't around. And just like that, new tenants were lined up. Everything was ready. Every step calculated. Every detail controlled. All that was left was the final move. The morning started like any other. Quiet. Normal. Almost too normal. She had no idea. No warning. No suspicion. No instinct telling her that her entire world was about to flip upside down. And that's exactly how he wanted it. Early that morning, there was a knock at the door. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just firm. She opened it. And that's when everything began. A moving crew stood outside. Boxes in hand. Professional. Efficient. Ready to work. You can imagine the confusion on her face. That slow blink. That half laugh. I think you've got the wrong place. But they didn't move. Didn't apologize. Didn't leave. Because behind them, he stepped forward, calm, relaxed, almost emotionless, and said something that instantly shifted the air in the room. No. They're right on time. You could see it happen. That exact moment when confusion turns into fear. Her eyes darting between him and the movers. Her brain trying to connect dots that weren't supposed to exist. What is this? Her voice wasn't confident anymore. It cracked. Just slightly. But enough. He didn't raise his voice. Didn't insult her. Didn't yell. He just walked over. Reached into a folder. And handed her the photos. One by one. That restaurant. That table. Her ex. Laughing. Smiling. Caught. There was no denying it. No twisting it. No explaining it away. And suddenly, all those late nights, all those friends she stayed with, all those lies, collapsed at once. She stared at the photos, her hands trembling slightly, her mouth opening, then closing again, trying to find words that didn't exist. And he just watched. No anger, no shouting, no emotion, which somehow made it worse. Because when someone is calm like that, you know this isn't impulsive. This isn't heat of the moment. This is planned. And that realization? Terrifying. Before she could even start forming an excuse, another voice entered the room. The landlord. He stepped inside, professional but firm, and delivered the final blow. You have until midnight to remove your belongings. That's it. No negotiation. No sympathy. No second chances. New tenants are moving in 2 days. The apartment needs to be cleared. Her head snapped toward him. What? I live here. But the truth? She didn't. No lease. No legal standing. Nothing. And she knew it. That's when the panic fully hit. The anger. The desperation. All crashing in at once. You're seriously doing this? After everything? It's almost ironic, right? The person who lied. The person who cheated. Now acting betrayed. But he didn't engage. Didn't argue. Didn't defend himself. Because there was nothing left to say. He had already said everything. Without speaking. The movers got to work. Fast. Efficient. Clinical. Boxes filled. Closets emptied. Drawers cleared. And then came the detail that made this whole thing brutal. Every single piece of furniture was his. The couch. The bed. The tables. The shelves. Everything she thought was theirs. Was never hers to begin with. And just like that, her life inside that apartment was reduced to a pile. Clothes. Shoes. Toiletries. All dumped together in the middle of the room. Messy. Exposed. Real. No filters. No lies. Just the truth. And right before he left, he did one last thing. He pulled out his phone and took a picture. Click. Her standing there, surrounded by the remains of her choices. The same way he had caught her before. Except this time, there was no laughter, no smiles, no illusion, just consequences. He didn't yell, didn't insult her, didn't drag it out. He just walked away, closed the door, and that was it. No chaos, no drama, just a clean, precise exit. And honestly, that's what makes this revenge hit so hard. It wasn't loud. It wasn't explosive. It was controlled, calculated, and completely unavoidable. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't about hurting someone. It's about removing yourself so completely that they're forced to face everything they destroyed, alone. If this story gave you that "no way he did that" feeling, hit that like button. And tell me in the comments, was this the perfect revenge? Or too cold? And if you want more stories where karma hits exactly right, make sure you subscribe. Because the next one might be even crazier.